Okay, so we're at 1616 Koy, and I wanted to show you a little bit about this house and what issues there may or may not be. So overall, for the price, it seems like a pretty solid house. The shingles look newer, the windows look newer, the doors are okay. Air conditioning system seems to be on the older side. I don't see any substantial block cracks, which means you don't really have much settling to deal with. Sometimes on the air conditioning systems, we can see how old they are. I'm looking here and I don't see anything with this one. But it looks like maybe they've been working on it. The air on the house does not seem to be on right now, but it is not really hot on the inside, so insulation must be decent. Now it's not exactly really hot today. I think the high is going to be 89. Now some things that I see to point out is whenever you see this right here, that means water has gotten in behind the paint somehow. And when it's down below like this, likely it's from weed eater strikes that has broke that penetrable barrier that the paint gives you. And eventually water will kind of seep in. So it's important to dig away this dirt and put a nice sealant primer for kind of ground contact. Sherwin-Williams has a product that would be excellent for this, because if you go to paint it again just like this, it's just going to keep peeling because of water, and it won't give you a nice good surface to put new paint on. Okay, so looks like we kind of have that situation throughout. So the house could stand to have a really nice paint job put on it. Okay, so let's go inside. It's got this nice little area here for you to fumble with the keys to get inside and not be wet. And then you've got this kind of foyer area. And we're looking at these casement windows here, and these will slider windows. They'll move in and out, which is a nice little upgrade. However, both of them are fogged on each side. So you may or may not be able to get a replacement piece for that glass, but basically what has happened is the two panes of glass the seal has broken somewhere along the line, and it's leaking basically, and it gives you that foggy look, so you know that there's a problem. We got a little bit of a popcorn ceiling in here. This area right here, I'm not exactly sure if that's termite poo-poo, which doesn't typically look like that. I'll have to get a bug guy to see what his opinion is. It could be something just basically chewing on that little box there. Okay, so the inside, again, pretty solid. The flooring is, to each their own with if they like the looks of that. The ceiling has been scraped in here, so my opinion would be to put some kind of a texture on it so you don't see all these lines anymore. You can see the tape marks, and it just needs a little orange peel design or skip trowel, or you can do a knockdown finish. So the windows in here seem to be okay. This one looks like it's kind of starting to crack up. So they're not brand new windows, but they're definitely not original to the house. This one looks like it's been taped in the past, but there's also this air conditioner that's right here. So likely they had that in there and just had it taped in. We see on the trim down here, there's a little bit of water damage. So we'll go around here and see what that could have possibly been coming from. Okay, so there's nothing kind of obvious like right in that position. Depending on if the refrigerator has a refrigerator line that may have been leaking at some point. Maybe it was ran up into the attic and down and below, or maybe they had a simple little fish tank right here and that just over time was leaking. But it's in this one particular corner. Let's see here, let's go back over. That should have been right back here. And this does look like it was a space for something. Maybe they had a refrigerator here at one time and it leaked. The dishwasher is another common culprit, but that's on completely the opposite wall, so not likely that. The dishwasher looks to be brand spanking new on the inside, but as you can tell, it's probably original to this house. We've got some little damage to the Formica countertops, dated sink. The appliances are all mismatched. Every single one of them is a different color. Not sure if they work or not, but the stove doesn't look like it's even plugged in right now. Okay, so refrigerators are one of the few items that we can kind of tell how old it was. And this one, you can see right here, was built in 2021. So it's only 4 years old. Looks like we have a little water drippage there, which is the ice side of that, which is not necessarily a good sign. We see a little bit of ice buildup right here. So not sure if the freezer got turned off at one time and melted, and then that's just residue, a little bit of water still in there. Okay, so dining room appears to be having these built-in cupboards. I don't see any other issues with that. All right, then we go where the 2 bedrooms are in the back. We've got a lot of storage. There's a closet on both sides. Looks like there was quite a leak where they had to cut out part of the ceiling in the bedroom. So that could have prompted that new roof. We have a little bit of water damage down here as well. Okay, so it looks like it was this lovely brown sculptured carpet originally, and then they changed out with this tile. And both of these closets, all of them have that original carpet in there. And moving off to the bedroom, or I'm sorry, the bathroom. Now this is definitely original. Toilet looks to be updated. Does not have a soft close lid, but there is a noticeable amount of cockroaches. So this would probably be a good one to have somebody come out and do cockroach treatment. A typical bug bomb does not kill cockroaches. You have to bait them and bait them again, and there's a whole process to their regeneration cycle to stop that. Kind of like getting rid of fleas on a dog. Okay, so second bathroom. Outside of it having a dated vanity and countertop, it does have a new toilet, and looks like we've got some wood shims to keep it from wiggling. That could have been installed a little bit better. And then we see this quite common inside of the bathtub, but somehow or way the water has been leaking out and getting into this wall. And by the time these pop off, the wall behind it is pretty damaged. So it's not so much sticking them back on. It's time to have all this tile tore out and repair what's behind it and make sure you fix whatever leak is going on. So we see that there was probably a failure of the caulk, and instead of replacing it, they just put this on it. So this is gonna probably a good time to just replace this as well while you're doing that other repair. Definitely moisture has been building in here. You can see a lot of signs of water damage. So a good, let's see if we can get that to come on. No. So it doesn't look like they probably open the window when they shower and they don't have a way for the moisture to get out. So this is one that you would want to probably get rid of that, and you can use that hole in the ceiling to put the proper ventilation in here so you don't have this continue to happen. Okay, we got somewhat of a newer one of these guys. So that air conditioner outside definitely is not original, but this isn't one of the new ones either. So I'm assuming it's probably at the end of its life, that 10 to 15 year mark. Okay, now here's the second bedroom, which does open up into the back lanai, which is kind of cool. Okay, so these slider windows, looks like this one over here has got that same problem with it getting the film on it. Probably just a really cheap window. Okay, so as I'm walking on here, every now and then I will feel like sand underneath the tile. So this bedroom, oh, here we go. So you can see right here, this crack, the grout crack will continue to get worse, and then you're gonna just have missing grout there. So really this flooring probably needs to be taken up. Not sure if you can save those tiles or not and redo them, but that would be the cheapest way to do it. I also noticed a little bit of that crunching in this hallway. Yeah, right. More around in here. Go down right here. Let's go back in here and make sure. Okay. Okay. So, on to the back lanai. This is an enclosed lanai that has air conditioning back here. Looks to be in good shape so far. Couple things, they cut the tile short of the threshold. So looks just kind of bad. You're gonna see this throughout with the doors. See, they're kind of just cobbled in here, not installed properly. This step down is taller than normal, so just so you know, that's one you have to be careful going in and out. This looks like to be a newer door that they replaced, just didn't fit quite right, and so they just kind of wiggled it in there. Okay, so there's a lot of electrical stuff that is just kind of not the code. Can't do that kind of stuff. This will be simple to just remove all this. He probably used it just for tinkering out here. That's probably that old door. And then this metal pan roof here is kind of bowed in, and just, it was either very, very old or it's just at the end of its life. You can start to see a good wind is just going to take this out. And then the screens back here are gone. They're going to need to be replaced, especially if you have FHA or VA or USDA financing. They don't allow that. Oh, Oh, look, we have a pineapple. Okay, here's another kind of look at that roof. Looks like probably had it trying to come off, so they added this piece of wood to kind of help, or they just used that to hang stuff off of, like plants. Can't tell. All right, so on the outside here, the electricity that's coming out here, this all should be in conduit, including in that, like a little sleeve, because anything can cut that, and now you've got a short, or worse, a fire. Same down here. That's not done correctly. But again, not to scare you, that's a pretty easy fix, relatively speaking. Okay, so we got a little hole here, which you'd want to seal just to keep varmints from getting inside. This carport is really cool. It's ventilated with these cool little bricks. Neat little architectural feature. I love it. Actually, it just gives you a place to park. And then you've got this older shed back here. You know, for the time being, you could probably paint it. It looks to be in decent shape. Let's see if we can get inside. Nope. Okay. All right, so moving on. We got this little wall here, and I don't know why. They may have had this as a garden at one time, or maybe it was a reason to keep the soil from washing away off of the roof since there's no gutters. Okay. This little gate up here just needs to be shaved off on the bottom so it can be opened and closed easily. And then under the carport, you see these are not supposed to be outside, and which is why they're failing. So what's up underneath that looks like it could be drywall of some kind. And then I see these little pieces of wood in there, little furring strips that they nailed that to. This door here seems to be newer as well, but not supposed to have this wood exposed for obvious reasons. So this door needs to be a little reworked to be right. But hey, at least you got the expensive part done. And then it's got this nice screen, glass and screen door. And then the laundry area is outside here. Take a peek at these. These look fairly new, even though they're kind of dusty. This kind of stuff right here is definitely not to code. Definitely not to code, but hey, depends on how detailed you want to be here. Okay, well that seems to conclude. If you have any questions about this house, give me a ring, 863-446-0908.